Awei's son is now a senior research fellow at Nanyang Technology University of Singapore. He says China and the U.S. will not go to confrontation and conflicts just over the South China Sea issue.
I sincerely do not think that the U.S. and China would overly fret over the South China Seas because both countries are heavy users. They are in fact the major users of South China Sea's sea routes. If you are talking about both raw materials and manufactured goods to and from US and China, the South China Seas is indeed a very important waterways. So there's no point for these two countries to, for example, engage in an armed conflict, which would of course then impede the sea passage of various very strategic and important goods for both countries.
The former Malaysian official also says common interests between China and the U.S. far outweigh their differences, and the two countries can have meaningful cooperation on many issues.
While South China Sea is indeed a potential flashpoint for both the region and for both China and US, but we must look at the overall more comprehensively the relationship between US and China, which engage each other not only militarily but also in terms of trade and in terms of various other exchanges.
The expert says that as two major economies in the world, China and the U.S. should continue developing a new type of relationship featuring competition and cooperation as well.
So I think that while the U.S. and China would continue to differ with each other as to their interpretation of rights, of privileges on South China Seas, I sincerely think the senior leaderships of both countries would constantly have the overall strategic well-being of the two countries in their mind when they engage with each other.